Thug are brothers in this thing, man.
Yeah, my blood.
Talk to me about yeah.
Then I get the call one day because I had a phone.
Yeah.
He called me like, "Hey, Brian, still your lawyer?" I'm like, "Okay." And that's the top lawyer there is right now. He like, "That's your lawyer. You come home."
How long was you facing before then?
I had a whole life sentence, but I did lamb.
Yeah.
I sentenced you on the 20th of December. That I went through certain things that you, of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to a revocation for the balance of the sentence. Your response was yes. Is that correct? Things in this plea colloquy talk about firearms. Yes, so do you remember us talking about that?
Yes, Ron.
All right. I've heard evidence that you haven't paid your fees. You owe $141.08 in fees. You haven't started any of the community service in this particular case, so I find those to be proven violations. But, you know, those are relatively minor. I mean, we still want you to adhere to all the conditions, but I don't know unless you ask. The issue I find aggravating in this particular circumstances are several. You got arrested with a gun within 6 months of you being placed on probation. And I agree with the state that you're not a candidate for probation because all you had to do is just complete your probation and do what you're supposed to do. Instead, you were riding around the car with a gun in violation of your probation and what this court explicitly had conversations with you about. Explicitly, on the record. And for that reason, sir, I'm going to revoke the balance of 9 years and 6 months. Will serve that in the Department of Corrections, and that will be the sentence of the court. Anything further? No, Your Honor. All right, that'll be the sentence of the court. Okay, we're in recess.
In this case, but within the last hour, the judge decided to revoke Quantavius Greer's probation after a recent arrest, and he is now headed to prison for nearly 10 years.
Madam, you can call your first witness if you'd like.
In a break from the months-long jury selection process, lawyers for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office made the case to put Quantavius Greer, known by his stage name as Unfoonk, back behind bars.
Where was it that the defendant indicated he would be residing?
Prosecutors today calling on several undercover Atlanta police officers to testify, which is why we are not showing their faces.
On May 4th, 2023, were you working in an assistance capacity with the Apex unit on or near 221 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, ma'am.
Greer was arrested on May 4th. He's charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful person employed by or associated with a criminal street gang. Both charges are a violation of his plea deal from December related to the Rico case brought by Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis.
Did you ask the defendant to step out of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Today, multiple officers took the stand, answering questions and reviewing camera footage. One describing the night Greer was taken into custody.
Was there anything that caused you an immediate concern once you opened the door of that vehicle?
There was a firearm that was in the door panel.
The officer stated when he encountered Greer with two other officers, Greer was driving a Mercedes G-Wagon, and that when he asked Greer to roll down the window, he smelled marijuana. He also testified he saw the handle of a Glock in the car door panel.
Once I opened the door, he stated pretty much an utterance that the firearm was registered.
Greer's attorney.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on Young Thug brother, Unfoonk Quantavius Greer, getting sentenced to almost 10 years in prison for violating the terms of his plea deal he took last December from the YSL State Rico case that they got picked up on in Georgia. And I'm going to have a link in the description for the clips that I put in the beginning from the Beehive ATL interview, the Law and Crime Network, where they got the live coverage inside the courtroom, and 11 Alive that kind of got more directly to the point on the thing with the undercover officers. And I put that one clip with Beehive there in the beginning to show that he had already served 11 years in prison. And the lawyer that Young Thug got currently representing him, Brian Steele, is the one that got him out on a life sentence. So he already did 11. Now he just got sentenced to 10, and dog ain't even 40 years old yet. This is terrible, man. And y'all heard the key things in there. That's what I want to put in there. Undercovers. The undercovers, you got to know that they watching your every single move. You only been out 6 months. This still a fresh trial going on. You can't even jaywalk if I'm in your shoes. Just saying, because this is what they looking to do. Catch you out here slipping again. And what they did, smelt marijuana, as they say, and you know that's automatically grounds to search you as soon as they run your information in the computer. But if you know, like I know, they done showed you in the courtroom, they watching everything y'all doing. Now his charge in the Rico case, I felt it was kind of over the top and extreme. Receiving stolen property, so that gets him tied up into a Rico. But these are the laws of the land. He accepted the plea deal on that and didn't fight it out. So he got to take what come with it because he agreed to those terms. And the write-up says this. Judge Ysl Glanville sent rapper Young Thug's brother back to prison Monday for violating probation by possessing a firearm. Quantavius Greer, also known as Unfoonk, received a 12-year sentence with 2 years commuted to time served and 10 years probation after pleading guilty to 1 count of violating the RICO Act and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property in December. And like I said, I felt that was overboard for him to be tied up into that RICO, but once you agree to the plea deal, you got to be on point because they looking to catch you messing up, bro. That is what it is. Thug then went out the way, got you the lawyer the first time, man. You got to move on the straight and narrow. Ain't no just this time, that time, or this or that. Ain't no having no weed smell in the car, bro. You can't do it. Now, I understand some niggas out here, you got to keep a strap on you. Better to get caught with it than without it. But in his case, nigga, they don't care. You got to be places where you can't have no strap. And I understand. This is why I tell niggas all the time, bro. Get your money. Get your paper, hustle, but stay out the way, stay out the mix. Because the judges, the lawyers, they'll tell you directly, hey man, I told you this, I told you that. Give you 10 years and say, hey, let's go to recess. This is another day at the job. They might not like giving niggas time, but they looking at it, somebody got to do it, and this is what I signed up to do. Man, don't be a part of this prison system, bro, because that ain't what your family wants, your mama want, none of that. And you gonna have to take accountability and responsibility for everything you did. Another brother locked up, possibly 10 years. I don't think he'll have to serve all that time. Might be able to get another probation after some time in there. Hopefully it'll work in his favor and dog can come home and get everything together and live the rest of his life, man. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.